Hey everybody, welcome back. So I finally got the replacement parts here for my little RC car project that I stripped or broke the bolts off in or the screws off in the last video. I only had one that I couldn't fix, but to get that one piece I had to order these pieces here. This is part of the original model, and I was going to do other work on it, and you can see about how far I got with that, which is to say not at all. I was going to do some work on the body, which is down there under the WPL34, which is now disassembled because some moron connected the battery backwards and fried the speed controller. And I ordered another one, and I took it apart to put it in and realized I'd gotten the wrong one, so now that's sitting apart too. So, things worthy of note. Look at the shocks that came with the new one. These are the shocks that came off it. Look at those. These are 7 millimeters longer than the ones that were on the rear, and there's no way to make those longer. You can make the springs tighter, but you can't make the shock any longer. Well, these ones that came with it are 61 millimeters, and these are 54. Oh yeah, 7 millimeters difference, and these match the ones that are on the front of the car. So that's one of the reasons why the car was squatting in the rear so much, because the rear shocks are 7 millimeters too short. I don't know why it came that way. Maybe they ran out of the correct ones. Maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. I don't know. Kind of glad I have those short ones though, because if for any reason it still squats in the rear, I'll put the short ones on the front, and that'll give me some kind of ride control. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing back. Oh, and I thought I'd ordered oil shocks, and I didn't. I must have changed my mind and didn't, because I looked back, and when they weren't in the package with the other stuff, I thought, I wonder if I forgot that, and looked back, and I either forgot or I changed my mind. So we're going with the regular non-oil shocks for now. Let me get it put back together, and we will see what it looks like. Another fun little problem I just ran into is these screws that hold the springs on in the rear, the leaf springs. This one's tight. This one over here was not tight. The spring was loose. I could wiggle it around. I couldn't tighten it, and I couldn't loosen it. So I spent about 10 minutes with this little torch applying heat to it and trying to loosen it. And finally I got it to back out. I cleaned all the thread locker off it, and I put some lubricant on it. And that's a problem I'm seeing with this from front to back every time I try and work on it. The person who assembled it is either an idiot, just doesn't care, or is intentionally trying to sabotage the product, or some combination of all three. I don't know. So I had this mostly back together except shocks, and I couldn't get it to sit level. It's still sitting crooked. So I thought, well, maybe it's the springs. So I took these springs out. There's 3 flat spring pieces on each side. Here's the 2 bottom springs that go in the leaf pack. They're fine. Here's the 2 next pieces, the middle 2 pieces that go in it. And I'm comparing the pieces from side to side, and they're okay. Now, here's the 2 long pieces that attach to the frame. And let's start with where it attaches with a screw to the frame. So here's where they attach to the screw to the frame. There is, see if I can get them side by side. That end's pretty close. The bends aren't identical, but that end is okay. And then if you flip it around and look at the other end, let me line the mount holes back up again. They're not even close. And that's not the bends. That's 10 millimeters longer. Well, maybe not 10, maybe more like 6 or 7 millimeters longer from one end to the other, and that's why it's not sitting really level on the other end. So I'm going to have to fix that. That's just a matter of trimming the long one and rebending it, but you know what? I mean, I shouldn't have to. All right, I got that long spring shortened, and I got the springs re-arced to where I am. They're as close as I can get them to each other. And yeah, I just noticed I still have a couple screws missing out of there. And that is, I don't think I can get it any closer than that. I'm pretty happy with it. You got to watch out for these bottom two springs in the spring pack, because the mounting holes are not centered, and if you get those off, it'll be crooked too. So I'm pretty happy with that. Let's get the shocks on and see how it looks with those on. All right, it is back together and the body is back on, and the longer shocks in the back is what it needed for the body to sit correctly. And funny enough, that spring, the two springs in the back where one was too long and one was too short, I shortened the long one so that it was the same length as the short one to get the suspension to sit level, but it turns out that the longer one was the correct one. Not that I had any way to make the shorter one longer, but and as you can see, the body does need to be shifted toward the back a little bit. I think I could shift it toward the back 10 millimeters and it would be perfect. Not a big deal right now, but I am going to want to put a Nerf bar across on either side in black. But I got the body height the way I want it. I got it level from front to back, and it is level from side to side. And shifting the body back is no more difficult than remaking the bumpers, because the bumpers are what position the body as of right now. And because they slide over the frame rail and they screw to the body, so that's what positions it. For right now, I'm a lot happier with it than I was last time I played with this, because it was all hosed up last time. So print new bumpers to move the body, get the Nerf bars printed in and get printed and glued on. And for right now, I think I'm just going to leave the springs alone. If I find another pair of them somewhere, I might order them if they're only a couple of bucks. You know, throw them in the next AliExpress order if they can be bought by themselves or with not many more parts, and see if that doesn't make me happier. But again, I'm not too unhappy with it. I think the oil shocks would improve it, but I'm not worried about that for right now either. Anyway, like I say, I'm a lot happier with it, and I'm going to get to work printing those bumpers, and we'll see if I can get the body back on, you know, shifted backwards a little, shifted forward a little bit. And then it's going to be mount the battery, and lights are going to come in the future because this controller has lights on it. I've got to get tail lights and parking lights printed, and and headlights too. So yeah, lighting is going to be something for the future. Anyway, I'm very much happier with it right now, so I'm going to end this here and just kind of rest on my laurels and have lunch. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Catch you in the next one. Bye for now.